Welcome to the Empowered Life. I am your friend, Ern Inyon. This podcast aims to inspire you to create the life that you want to live. If you are not yet a subscriber, be sure to subscribe and get notified when a new episode is posted. Now let's go on with the show. Hi everyone. In this episode, I want to talk about gratitude. We all know that gratitude is the quality of being thankful. But contrary to popular belief, gratitude is not an attitude that you can turn on and off whenever you want to. We only say thank you when somebody gives us a gift of our liking or when things come as we planned. That's not it. Gratitude is what comes out of you when you become more receptive to life. So what do we mean by being more receptive to life? First, by honoring those who worked before you to give you the life that you have now. First and foremost, I want to honor and I am extremely grateful to my dad and my mom. I had a good start at life because they sent me to great schools. My dad worked extra hard and my mom had to save and manage the household so that my brothers and I went to great schools, provided us with shelter and food on the table. I have high respects also to founders of organizations and those individuals who played a key role in the growth of a company. When my wife and I were starting Trails, the therapy center we managed since 2003, it was extremely hard. We had to juggle lots of things. My day job, her day job, the household, and of course the business. So we are now on our 20th year next year, and what a journey it has been. So many things to be thankful for, and so many people to be thankful for. We always tell this story to new team members so that they would appreciate and respect the journey we made. It's just so happened that we are the founders, but it is not that we demand for it, but being grateful to people who laid the groundwork is so important. I used to work with a large shipping company, and it has been doing business for 100 years when I was there. By knowing its history, I felt the obligation to bring the company to greater heights, and at the most that I can do. It's like the baton has been passed on to you and you have to do your best. By doing your best is the greatest sign of respect and honor, isn't it? So respect and honor are the offspring of gratitude. So if you're working in a company or an organization, it is so important to learn your organization's history. If you don't have one, propose to write it down. So this is the reason why we need to know our history. I live in Laguna, a province south of Manila. If I look at the photos of this place 100 years ago in the internet, this was like one vast land of grass with a few small houses made of nipa. To get water, I would guess people would go to a nearby well and fetch a pail of water. Now, I just simply open the faucet and comes out clean water. How convenient is that? So this particular place where I live, this used to be a dump site. Garbage from other cities in the metro some 30 years ago were dumped here. So I am grateful to those people who fought to clean up this place so that people like me will have a home. So if you travel back 100 years ago or simply grab also a photo in the internet of your place, maybe you will also appreciate how much, or you learn how much your place has progressed and appreciate the little things we often take for granted, like the ease of getting clear water and electricity. Another example is technology, primarily the internet. When I was in college, way back in the 90s, I used to stay in the library for hours just to read books. Now I can simply download it in my Kindle, in Amazon, and almost all information can be searched in the web. Another example is democracy. We often do not appreciate the freedom that we enjoy today, but 100 years ago, our forefathers did not have freedom. This is the reason why we celebrate those holidays: Rizal Day, Bonifacio Day, Independence Day. These dates are important so that we will never forget and continue to be grateful and take care of it. In the US, Black Americans will never forget Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and those who fought for equality. There would never have been a Barack Obama or Michael Jordan or LeBron James if not for Martin Luther King. Secondly, being receptive by knowing that we are all interconnected. Yes, the birds, the insects, plants, every person, tables, chairs, air, soil, water, the other planets, space, everything. It is like in the movie Matrix. If you have watched the movie, you know how Neo sees the world. Everything is just one. It moves in time. So we are part of one system, and this system is functioning to give you the life you are living now. So start being mindful, more mindful on everything that surrounds you. Right now, I am sitting on my favorite chair, yeah, which is well cushioned with armrest, and mesh back. And I am thankful to the people who designed this chair. It's very comfortable. Molded these plastic parts, manufactured and assembled it. Also the people who transported it to the store where I bought this, and to the retailer who accommodated my order and accepted my payment. I am grateful to my Apple MacBook Pro, this microphone, the audio mixer, my table, the air conditioning, even to the little objects like my pen and paperclip. There's so much to be grateful. I have all these things to create podcasts, to deliver my message to people all around the globe. How cool is that? If I told myself 30 years ago that I would be doing what I'm doing now, I would probably tell my future self that you are crazy. So this is a dream. More than a dream, actually. So much has happened in life so that I could experience the joy I have right now. I mentioned earlier that gratitude is not an attitude that you can just turn on and off whenever you want to. If this is your perspective, this is a conditional approach to life, or a sense of entitlement. Gratitude is an overwhelming feeling that you cannot help but become a light to other people also. When you become a light to other people, blessing will naturally flow into you. Now let me explain. When we meet a priest, a preacher, a pastor, or somebody who dedicated their life to help others or reduce their personality by giving light to other people, what is our natural reaction? Well, our natural reaction, we give respect to them. We want to honor them. We want to bless them. We want to give whatever we have. Sometimes we bow down, not because they are gods, not because they are gods, but to show that we are grateful. That's the universal law of reciprocity. That's why when you bless people unconditionally, you can't help it but also receive multiple blessings also. When you give, life will find a way to bless you also. So everything from the air, plants, animals, everything will bless you. We sometimes hear people say God is good when something great happens to us. We just need to be aware that we are simply making a statement of hope, not and not to be misconstrued that if something bad happens to us, does it mean God is no longer good? Or maybe we just don't understand why sometimes bad things happen to us. God is God. He can't be labeled as good or bad according to our understanding because He is beyond that. Every moment that happens to us, I am grateful. The highs and the lows, the gains and the pains, all of them I am truly grateful. Last night we had sinigang, as dinner. It's sinigang na baboy. It's pork stew in English. And I remember one of my favorite preachers, Brother Alvin Barcelona, once said, "Life is like sinigang." Sinigang has different ingredients all mixed. Okay, there's pork, there's okra, there's kangkong. I don't know the English of kangkong, but and other ingredients. There's chili, and they're all mixed. So he said that you cannot choose only the good ones, like you just eat the pork, So life is just like eating sinigang because you eat the pork, kangkong, okra, and other ingredients all at the same time. So the taste may be maasim-asim or bitter, malat-alat, or salty, or sometimes sweet. That's what makes sinigang delicious. It is true. And it's really true because if I look at my life, some of the highlights of my life are when I lost the most, not just those times that I won. When my brother Bob died, it was so painful I thought I was going to lose my mind. However, I choose to be grateful. I choose to see the brighter side. I am still grateful that I got to know my brother. I had great memories of my brother and I could keep him alive in me. His death continues to shape me as it reminds me to value my time more. What am I saying? We are shaped by the good and bad things that happen to us. Many times we learn the most from the bad choices we made. None of us are spared from the bad events that may happen. So, when you wake up, knowing that you are alive and have been given the chance to give love is enough reason to be grateful. So live a grateful life.
Thank you so much for listening, friends. Please rate and review this podcast and share it to your friends. Until next time, blessings always.